Good morning. Cool. All right. So what we get this morning? So as we said, we have high impact news at 10 o'clock. Probably just gonna let price play around until then. We'll follow it for the time being. Kind of been following it this morning. So at 9:30, right, we're trading higher. We accelerate into this new day opening gap, which is also the 1 minute bearish fair value gap. Break structure through the lows. We actually leave that open instead using this inversion. We get underneath the hourly, hit the hourly high, and now we're starting to break lower. So to me, I'd look for first just this liquidity, the original sell side that we ran, which is here. That'd be first objective. Paired with the 830, you see perfect delivery into it. And then maybe yesterday's low again. Look at how price reacted at these first presented, right? So beautiful delivery. We trade higher, we hold previous day low. We then hold the first presented here, accelerate. So I would expect this gets traded into yesterday's low, and then if we want to stay bearish, all the way back down there. What is happening? I can't lie, fellas. There is music coming from my computer, but where? Do y'all hear music right now? Or am I tripping? I thought there was music. What the hell? Okay. What up, Doom? FO. Yeah, I should. I'm gonna start getting the Discord more active again. As I said, I stopped really doing all streaming and stuff like that, so it did get pretty filled with garbage. So this weekend, I'll probably go in, clear it up. I kind of want to keep it free, but you're right. I might add like a little fee, because for the time being, my YouTube will be primarily free, so that'll be like the free access, and then my Discord will be more premium. So I'll probably change it to where you do have to pay to get in at all, which should clean it up. Because I have noticed that it is getting pretty ridiculous. Okay, but yeah, I gotta find these tunes, fellas. What is... I thought it was my YouTube at first, but it wasn't. I thought it was my Spotify. Is it Spotify? I'm baffled. Not Spotify. Maybe... We're cooked. Wait. Oh my god, there it was. Idiot. Okay. We're good, chat. We're good. That was weird. Alright, back to chill. Alright. We good. What would your ideal setup for today be? I like the idea. Yeah, let's think. So, like we said, high impact news at 10. First presented might hold us into yesterday's low. That'd be my first expectation. Kind of consolidate around 8:30. Ideally, higher time frame wise, let's hide everything. Let's go with pure price. Start with the 4 hours. Just kind of work our way down before the high impact news. So we've cleared a short-term high. Displaced lower, we do have a bearish inversion. Cleared lows, untapped. Okay, so higher time frame, we may come into this 4 hour. Some areas of reference. So we have this 4 hour. If we're gonna go bearish, we got liquidity there and here. So we keep working down. Like we said, we have sell side. 4 hour, 1 hour there as well. So okay, yeah, 4 hours, still good spot. 5 minutes here. Honestly, clear the wick, clear a wick. I think if we can invert first presented here, following news, I like to run into midnight and then these highs here. Right, that's just a little too clean. We did run those highs in NQ, so potential SMT, but like if NQ runs out this low and ES can hold this low, I'd actually look for a retracement back up into this range. So just keep consolidating. Like if we get a fake breakout, I'd want to see consolidation with a return back into the range rather than true kind of movement and trending lower. So yeah, I like the idea of trying to get long off of an inverted first presented here. As we said, we've already made an aggressive move lower to really pick up all the sell side from yesterday and this morning. So all sell side, major buy side's been cleared, holding first presented. We've just cleared this short-term low before 8:30, so we have now picked up some internal range sell side liquidity. So internal range sell side picked up. We're noticing first presented fair value gap still actually held and was respected, so that's bullish. And now we're getting stuck at this bearish first presented here. So I do like that a lot, actually. Up and through that, we can look to go long off of that to get into the opening range gap, new week opening gap. And if we want to keep pushing, as we said, we have buy side up here. Let's hide most of that. Keep this up for now. This is our main area of interest. As you said, still news at 10, so really nothing to do until then. Like we could be risky, right, and try to get in before the news using something like this. If we expect that this low is going to be the protected low, that's just higher risk in my opinion. On a Friday that we've already been profitable through the week, I'm just not interested. No need to be pushing, acting silly. We'll wait and see, like 10 o'clock maybe runs. If anything, if we couldn't run this low out, so like say 10 o'clock went lower first actually, cleared out lows again, and then traded up and through, that'd be even better, because then we'll have short-term liquidity being grabbed again in the immediate setup. But we'll wait and give it time. So far, NQ a lot lower. So a little bit weaker this morning. We'll see if that translates to ES selling off or if we can get reversal. Long on the... Oh, you're long on NQ? It's not bad either. As you said, I like to wait for news, so we'll wait. So far we're holding. Notice we've hit consequent encroachment of the first presented perfectly. So we'll see if we're going to close below. Like if this candle closed below, I'd honestly expect 10 o'clock to run straight for this low. It is high impact, so I'm not sure how aggressive it'll be, especially because we've already had a huge move, right? Seeing a huge move like this from the earlier news events makes me think that this 10 o'clock news won't be as aggressive, but I still want to wait and let it play out. Because if anything, you can get more confirmation that this first presented will be inverted. Like if we're going to do this, hold the consequent encroachment perfectly. As we said, if this candlestick closes below before 10, I would expect us to run into this sell side. Which then if that's the case, then we can reverse. This should be a pretty clean inversion. So 10 o'clock, trade straight up into it, holding, as we said, this would be the aggressive entry off this fair value gap after clearing sell side. I'd rather not be aggressive and just be safe, but we'll follow that and see. Because now look at that candle actually. So I'd like that potential OB in here. If this candlestick can accelerate through. If it does, this candlestick has cleared short-term low too. We clear these equal lows as we return into the fair value gap. So actually, if we do get a closure above first presented here, we're going to go in already off that. I think I like the midpoint of it. Stop will be under this fair value gap here. To get the high, as we said. Depends on candle closure. Waiting on candle closures, seeing what we get. We do get closure above, so we will try that. Oh shoot, wait, we need to flip it here. And I like, as we said, the highs. All right, let's see if we can get the retracement into that before the pump up. If not, we may just miss the move, as we said. The aggressive entry was what ended up playing out. But that's fine if we miss it. Let's pull this back now. Yeah. That's right, we see that there. That makes sense. Simply just wanted to wait for news, so. Now that we've cleared this high, we could easily run back down, so not too worried. Right, short-term buy side cleared. After clearing some type of short-term liquidity, we can get retracements into untapped fair value gaps. I like that we did leave that bullish fair value gap there as we left the first presented now. So it's going to be overlapping fair value gaps in a key area. We're probably just going to use the high of the first presented, so we'll go low-hanging fruit there. Stop loss under that fair value gap. And then, yeah, we'll target that high. This will be like first partial if we can get up there. So hopefully we do get first presented and not institutional. If we go institutional order flow and only tap the high of this bullish, the most recently formed bullish fair value gap, we may miss this entry. If we go breakaway gap, we'll of course miss it, but I think we can get first presented again. For me, we've already cleared enough lows, right? So in my mind, as we look at chart, let's scroll out a little bit. Right, all these highs are relative equal highs in here. This move from the high impact news has cleared all of these lows. Yesterday's low, this low here, London's low. Right, so this aggressive down movement has cleared major sell side. We then fail to clear out that intermediate swing point and create now a new swing low, and that low gets attacked. Right, so in reality, if this is going to be our protected lows we would expect, we shouldn't break that low. And instead, we should only pick up the interrange liquidity points, which is this low here, especially because, right, that is the first presented. So if the objective was to run out yesterday's low and then retrace into the range, we actually wouldn't want to see yesterday's low here be retraded back into. Right, so for me, this was all the damage we had to do. Running out this short-term low, holding from first presented, and now we'll look. Got stopped out of longs at 943, 943. Oh, shoot, okay. 943. Yeah, so right, that's news that we're talking about there, brother. Granted, you could trade how you'd like, but for me, I'll never try to get in front of high impact news on a Friday because it's going to be choppy. on NQ. Yeah, so for me, right, I just don't trust that because we have news. High impact news at 10 o'clock to me means that all the price action before that, I'm not trusting until the news events hits, and then we can confirm that price action. Right, so like for us now, I do like this because that is 10 o'clock news, boom, straight up. So 10 o'clock to me, right, is showing a willingness to want to run higher, invalidating the original bearish fair value gap that's also I first presented that should hold bearish. So now if we would trace into that, I'd like to get in on that entry. And yeah, we'll leave this, okay? Because we're going to hope that it is choppy here. So we'll kind of look for choppy delivery, which means that even if we do start to run, we could retrace and still hold from here. I'm kind of treating this as a short-term low getting displaced. So right, that liquidity, when we sweep liquidity and get back above it, I wouldn't want to see this low really be traded back below. As we said, partial buy sides here. If we run out this high, I might still leave this, to be honest. Because then we can run out that high, give a deeper retracement, and still hold. Let's see, like if we were going to run that high. Oh yeah, like OTEs already get projected. So let's say that we want to create an OTE entry. We'll run up into this. Okay. So yeah, we expect higher prices, may miss it. That's okay if we do. Potential breaker here. Did we form it? Yep, just close above. Okay, so low, high, lowest low. We close above it here with this candle. I'd watch the high of that candle. Notice how this candle hits that perfectly, and now we're accelerating towards the buy side, so we should get buy side. As we said, there is a new day opening gap here as well. Remember that end opening range gap. So pretty strong magnet is why we would expect price to run up into that. And then we could see, let's see if we get through the high. Maybe we come back down actually into equilibrium. If we clear that high, this high doesn't want to be traded into. We'll go to first presented. Just kind of debating if we want to actually try to turtle soup here. As I said, on this Friday, I'm not convinced that we don't want to range, or that we don't. I'm not convinced that we're not going to consolidate. That's what we'll say. So I think we'll kind of continue like this, which means as we run out a high, we're going to want to revert into the range. That high is paired with higher time frame key areas. I like that. Why not 948 candle as the breaker? Because you want to use the highest closed up close candle in the leg from high to low. Right, so the breaker formation is when you have a low up to a swing, that swing low gets cleared, and then that high gets broken here. So then you look into this leg, right, of the up close, and you want to find the highest up close candle, not the most recent. The highest up close candle is this one here. And you'll see, as we said, right, that's what we can't get it above it. We can't get above it. We do get above it. Next candle holds it perfectly. And now we've run up into midnight. We've closed on midnight perfectly. So actually, that might not be a bad idea. Trying to turtle soup that. We're going to leave this entry here because if we don't run out this high and we run lower first, I still like holding that entry. But on the flip side, I almost do like trying to turtle soup that back into the range. That'd be more of just a 1 to 2 entry. Turtle soup's a little more risky. Short-term low cleared. Do we think we're gonna break? Not really. I actually don't mind trying to turtle soup here. So we're gonna go double both ways. This will be one of the days where since we are consolidating, and I think we're gonna revert to a range. We're going to try to soup that if we do get in on that. And then we'll use, yeah, right. So that's buy side, new day opening gap, 1 minute fair value gap, this high's been cleared. So I'm kind of going to flip the bias in the short term. I do like these highs, but that high, did that high clear? Now we're really debating here. Tricky price. Oh yeah, we didn't. Yeah, so see, that's the only thing giving me worry. This buy side here is just too clean. Chop in here. 5 minute fair value gap. Fuck it, we'll try it. We'll do a turtle soup. We'll try a soup. Stop for us will be now basically above this. So if we run straight through this, we'll be out. And then we're just looking for a return into the first presented once we get short. Looking for consolidation to continue and not expecting expansion, pretty much is what we're trying to do here. Let's say that we get entered and then we blast right through this fair value gap. It still should be good for us because then, right, we'll target this high and then we may be able to continue running. But yeah, for the time being, short-term low cleared. I just think we hold this. We don't want to get above it. We consolidate. Let's find out. Yeah, especially because that's a breakaway, which we could leave that as a break. Like if we're going to be bullish, if we're off sides here and we get ran through, this will stay as a breakaway gap, in my opinion, until buy sides met. I'm thinking, though, that we're leaving this as an inefficiency that price can return into after clearing liquidity, however. So that's kind of what our hope is. Going out the buy side, yeah, break lower. We're smashing right into that opening range gap. So that's also why I wouldn't mind this, right? It's a small opening range gap. So even if we're going to get above this high, the midpoint's right here, which is kind of why I would want to see, like, if we're going to wick this buy side, wick the actual buy side, wick into the midpoint of the opening range gap, which is really all price needs to return into, and then break from there back into the first presented that has the breakaway gap here. Right, that's like my expectation. That's my reasoning behind the entry. So it's just a matter of, oh, okay, shoot. So there is entry now. So as we said, midpoint here, midpoint opening range gap is what I'd want to see kind of hold. We close above it immediately. So already we're going to remove, what's our actual long right here? Okay. So already, right, we immediately close above midpoint. That to me is not a good sign. I think we're going to continue to run through that. We do have midpoint of the actual 1 minute. I would need to see that hold to feel any type of confidence. But notice how as we break through this high, we're doing it with now a fair value gap. So one of two things. Usually when we see that, that's going to be a continuation indication. Closure above an old high, leaving behind and now a new discount, often gets used as support. So if that does get formed, we're going to have to be wary, but it will give us a good opportunity to invert that and then give us a chance to actually start running lower. So you see, as we said, if we're going to close above old highs, it's often going to become support. Very next candle trades perfectly into that. And now we've created a fair value gap perfectly aligned as we would expect with the old high. So to be honest, I think this would be good for us because we should be wrong or right quickly here, right? If we're going to use this and continue higher, it's just we're going to tap that. We're going to run through this high and then we're going to attack the buy side up here. If anything, if we're extremely bullish, it stays open and we don't even get to trade into it like this. If we can get into it and especially get below it, that to us will be a good sign. And then we would expect price to run into this fair value gap here. So for the time being, we're in, we just got to commit. As we said, this is a little bit higher risk. Turtle soup, equal highs. We're expecting that consolidation wants to play out and not a run on equal highs. However, that is not what we want to see. Yeah, that's not okay. So already following price, a little sketchy. When we're entering on turtle soups, we would want to see that candlestick remain in the range. That to me is bullish. So we might actually close half of this. That's what we're going to do. If we can get a tap of that, we're going to close half, just because I don't like that. So we'll buy 2 back there. Okay. As we said, quick to preserve capital when I think it's consolidating, when it's showing things that are going against our understanding. So if we're going to turtle soup this, we would need to break this. Instead, as we said, if we're going to hold that fair value gap that's been created as we break through a high, well, what is this? This is really just another breaker on a larger sense. Low to the highest high to the lowest low, broken with displacement and a fair value gap. That's going to hold us. If we close below that, as we said, we should be good. But for the time being, especially because it's just hit the low. Notice how we're hitting. Yeah, that's, no, we're going to flip. Body's refusing to close near the buy side. Candle wick doing the damage. We've perfectly delivered into the low. So right now is when price should rip higher if we're off sides. If we're on sides, we'll close below this wick. But to me, this feels, yeah, look at that. How the bodies are hovering, right? Can't even get near that buy side. To me, that's bullish. So basically, if we close above this 1 minute consequent encroachment, that would confirm to me that we're probably going to run into the high and get our stop. You're expecting pullback on NQ to around 280, but we just accumulated. And after accumulation is expansion. Yep, usually. Right, we'll move from accumulation to expansion. Expansion to accumulation, or reversal, of course. Which is why I would want more reversal. Accumulation, small expansion into liquidity. Revert, small accumulation, expansion into buy side. I want the revert now. I don't want consolidation or continuation, but yeah, we're gonna run. Everything that's right here is showing bullish price delivery. Right, expansion through the high. Trying to get the midpoint, we can't. We get into the low of it perfectly. We still hold the high. We then try to get back into midpoint after delivering into the low. We can't. So to us, if we're truly gonna follow this order flow, this midpoint should not be messed with again. And this high is going to hold us, and we're going to run right through this high. So if I continue to see that, this is going to be offsides, right? We need to see price push through and close inside. But the fact that it's not, yeah, that's, we're going to run higher. I almost want to flip. Let's see if we were going to flip it. What would be a 5 handle target that we can get? Yeah, I just don't like this at all. We're holding here. That's the only thing giving me like any type of grace. We're holding the 5 minute. So that's really what we're looking at. And that's why I'm giving this a chance. But right, we're holding the midpoint as well. But yeah, I don't think that's just ugly. Yep, a lot of support. As you said, we can already expect when we enter turtle soup, we should see it break back aggressively. So the fact it hasn't means we're going to consolidate here, which just gives us less likelihood. It still may work, but we need to see it break quickly. To me, I think that we're going to aggressively expand higher. Like what we're doing here, right? Small consolidation. Seeing as how we're respecting this area so precisely would lead me to believe that if we do run this high, it's going to be in one quick candlestick. It's a sharp run higher after hitting this. So we'll get something to where like we trade lower first, and then we aggressively move higher, close higher, and then run higher. It may be there, because as we said, now that the low is closed, midpoint becomes the key sensitive area. So that's really all price will need to do. We close perfectly. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's see if we can't break lower. We need to get a breakthrough. But yeah, that's just see what NQ's up to. NQ, see what dollar's up to. Dollar. NQ retraced lower. Okay. Yeah, I think we're offside. Let's see. Still holding consequent encroachment. At this point, we'll commit to it. We either go stop or exit. But the feeling we're getting is not good. Right, we've held that buy side perfectly. So as we said, if we're going to run through, it's going to be one swift motion through this high after hitting this candlestick. We close above, so yeah, we should run now. We just cleared that high. I kind of do want to flip this, to be honest. Is that a bad idea? Let's see. No. Everything is showing bullishness. 5 minutes closed above the 5-minute fair value gap. We might flip this if we get a chance. So if we can get here, we're going to flip that and try to get long into the highs. Whoa. That'll be good because we'll be break even. Right, because we'll basically be entering where we got short, and actually we closed that even shorter. So, okay. We'll try that. We might not get it. We might just get stopped here. But yeah, seeing this, especially that, as we said, holding consequent encroachment was our only good sign. Closing above that now in the 1 minute to me means that we're probably just going to run. And now, right, as I said, on the 5 minute, we've closed above the 5 minute fair value gap. So that's going to be a 5 minute inversion. So this might not be good. Like we might hold from right there. I'm going to start offloading some of this position actually. If we can tap that again. If not, we won't be able to, but. Right, I have pretty specific conditions. So like for total soups, if price doesn't immediately revert, I already probably know I'm offsides. And especially as we said that, if we're going to create that fair value gap right there, that was kind of a textbook long. So now we're just still consolidating, but I'm not trusting. Yeah, I don't trust that. Oh my God, idiot. Okay, well now we got to commit because we sold instead of bought there. If we can get back to that break even, we're gonna buy that back. Just not liking the delivery too much. And if we do get something to where we can get back below this, then we could still take another entry, right? So I'm not too worried about that. So we're gonna buy that one back. We didn't mean to close it there. We're revisiting. If we revisit this, we'll buy another one at break even. So as I said, just trying to run down that position to where if we take the stop, it won't be as aggressive, or if anything, it'll just be break even. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Look how we hold that. Jeez. So I'd watch. If we're going to hold that, a quick run into this high again. We've just hit the high of the new week opening gap, so that's one good thing. Let's bring back the indicators. Right, so within the actual fair value gap itself, we have the new day opening gap and the opening week. The opening range gap, excuse me. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see price. Now that we've cleared this high, if we can get below, I will try to add back too. But for the time being, that's just ugly. Lends more towards bullishness, not bearishness. So we cut risk, and then we wait. What time is it? 10:20. So maybe if we can get to 10:30 and let this be the high of the morning range, that wouldn't be bad. Kind of creating little 3 drives here. One. Oh. Right, we got 1 into the fair value gap. We got 2 retracements. So maybe another one and then the break. Create the breaker there. But yeah, these highs are just, they're looming, right? Too clean, too clean. So it's price is gonna want to wander up there, but I think if we can reclaim this or invert it anyway, that should be pretty good for us. We'll have a new swing high to use as a stop. And then we'll try to get into that first presented. But it seems like, yeah, we're just doing methodical higher. That buy side right here. Midpoint. Just watching this. That's the buy side. Yeah, that's not good. We cannot. Right at this, so now we're not even able to get into that high. So to me, that unwillingness to even venture down there is bullish as hell. So we're probably just going to expand right through this high again. Unless we can get a sharp, we need to get like a sharp break right through this. But for the time being, I think we go higher again. We've just cleared a short-term low, so really right in this tiny consolidation, that's all that's going to have to take place. So I'm going to watch, now that we've cleared that short-term low, are we going to come for this high up here? That would make the most sense, right? Yeah, all time frames. High. Good to go. All right, so we should run that buy side. As we said, we're still relying at this point, New Week opening gap high. That's our saving grace. That's our final barrier. Above that, easy stop out, right? No, we got in with 5 before the inversion. Total suit. Already cut risk. Close some in slight green. Hey, not bad. Right, high still holding. As we said, that's kind of our saving grace, so that's what's going to need to hold. I don't like that we have now relative equal highs, though. I think that we all consolidate in here to blast through those highs. Oh. With my coffee. You're on Ling's Ling Long. Ling Ling Low. Once again, not getting near that buy side. Yoinks. So yeah. Stop out inbound. Should be an aggressive run higher through these highs. Buy side up here. 5 minute. What's 15 up to? 15 same. 15 didn't close, so maybe we have to get a huge wick, but if we can get a huge wick in the next 2 minutes, we might be good. 15 is yet to close, so maybe the next 2 minutes close below this. That'd be our only positive sign. If not, we're for sure getting stopped. 21,419. What? NQ, right? Oh yeah, NQ. Is like what? Yeah, same highs here. Right, so I think we'll probably go up here. Like if we get through this high, so we just did. So if we don't aggressively reject here after running this high and we close above that, we will probably be stopped now. We spent a lot of time in here. When we do move, it's going to be quick. So that's kind of what we're waiting to see. If we can somehow hold this and get a quick rejection, that'd be huge for us, but no guarantees. We'll see what we get. So we do close in the range. I don't mind that. We would need to see us break though. If we're going to keep running highs like that, I think we just methodically get up there. So now that we've ran this high, we ran this high, that's the third drive. I'd want to see these lows get targeted. Make an attempt. Like if we can't even get back down into this buy side, that's just price showing, right? It's unwilling to revert or reprice into this current range that we've been in. So at that point, yeah, we'll remain bullish. Because right, the breakers here, it's really balanced below. So that's why we don't have any need to return below this if we're bullish, which is why we're seeing this here. Which is also why I'm saying if we are able to actually close back inside of that, that should be a pretty good sign, and we should run lower. For the time being though, looks like we're just gonna stay up. This is kind of what we mean, just right, the signatures of price delivery, how understanding will help you read the order flow. As we said, once this low gets hit, if we're gonna remain bullish, its consequent encroachment doesn't get messed with. So yeah, we wick into it, but look at the bodies, right? We never even get into the fair value gap. We expand away. The last down close candle to hit that before the expansion becomes our new area of support. We do the same thing. We run out lows in here and then we run into the high, right? So you can see how even in this choppiness, we understand what's taking place within the consolidation, which is why I want to see now that we've hit this high, I want us to revert and get a low. But the issue is there's a swing low right here. So that may be all price needs to do. Like run out this low, hold from the actual down close candle and still run higher. Because yeah, every time and now we're back above consequent encroachment, which probably is going to act as support. Very low probability, right? The longer we're in this, the lower the odds are for us. And that's typically how all my trades are. If we can reclaim consequent encroachment, that's really our only hope. We've been up and down through it so many times, I'm not putting too much emphasis in it. But just seeing candlesticks respect it gives me an uneasy feeling now that we have a new swing low here. Swing low put into place at a key level in the form of the 1 minute consequent encroachment. So if this candlestick's high gets broken, we'll probably just keep pushing up, right? And it'll be methodical stair-stepper delivery, which we may get to sell off eventually, but it probably wouldn't come until this buy side. So at this point, we're kind of just stuck, right? Stuck in the consolidation. We have our key area of interest here. Above that, we would expect higher prices. Below it, we're looking okay. For the time being though, right, our thinking is stop loss off midpoint. Once we hit the high, we'll have to readjust. Once again, we have this as our saving grace. So if we can run this high and somehow hold this, at this point though, if we don't break, I don't like that because now we've ran buy side so many times. Okay, closure above, so we should get stopped here. My guess is volume imbalance retraces into the high of this new or the opening range gap like it just did. We're going to run bullish, leave that volume imbalance open. Probably try to close above the 1 minute fair value gap, which will get us stopped out, and then reach for the buy side here, which is just below a first presented. So let's see if that takes place. If we can somehow magically get back inside, no. Okay. So we'll stop there. That's fine. Just as we said, pretty sloppy. For us though, we are able to manage the risk. So we try to get long here. We're not able to. It ends up being breakaway. We try to total suit back into the range. Instead, we just get the continuation from that fair value gap, kind of as we would expect there. We're able to partial out. And actually, this one gave us tiny profit. So this was probably less than the original entry. So right, we got long 4 here. We closed 2, break even. We accidentally add 1. We close that back in profit. And then we finish the last 2 at the high. So minuscule stop out. Now we kind of reassess, right? We're not trying to rush, as we said on a Friday. No need. I would kind of follow this. If we're going to close above, we'll end the volume bounce. So yeah, to me, that's bullish. I watch and see now, do we hold the opening range gap and the new day opening gap coming off of here? Honestly, if we can get below this, I still will give another opportunity to get short. Yeah, I don't mind that. So for the time being, we'll be on our hands. Fell short here. But if we can get back down below this, I don't mind trying that once more to actually run out into the lows. Make it a little cleaner. Yeah, that would have played nice, huh? If we would have went 4, probably could have went for 5 even. No, 1 to 2 wouldn't even. Okay, so to be honest, either way, this is just methodical trade. Giving great analysis. Thanks, sir. I'm glad you find it helpful. That's really all I try to do. Walk y'all through what price does, right? Eventually, you guys will do it yourselves. That's kind of my philosophy. More so teach price action and then let people do with the information they want. So now we look for, right, if we're going to do this, the 5-minute inversion. That's what I'm looking at. I don't have it pulled up. Pull it up here for y'all so you can see. But that's pretty much what I'm looking at now. So 1020, where's 1020? Right here. Yeah. So we've retraced into it already. Okay, so yeah, that should hold. Which is why I'm thinking if we end up giving this back and go lower through that, we will try to short. Because that's pretty clean for a short. This will be a sensitive area in price. This should probably hold us until we get into buy side. So for the time being, yeah, we're looking here. Yeah, that was right there. That was a clean entry with the inversion. Okay, let's get a little breakdown. We don't want to get too caught up in these highs. Like, I think they should be ran out, but we've often seen, right, highs get left behind quite a bit. I mean, even here and here it happened. So we may leave those to target later on in the day or next week, which is why I do like the idea, yeah. Below this, we'll go short. Especially if we clear it with some type of discount. That gives us a good entry. However, same thinking, 5-minute. What's the one? So the 5 minutes here. We close above here. So we've never gotten to the 5 minutes consequent encroachment as an inversion yet. We close above it here. The next two candles do hit it and respect it, respecting its top quarter level, right? Let me go like this. Respecting that top quarter. So we can really come back down into equilibrium, the midpoint here, and still hold bullish. So yeah. Not getting faked out yet. Might run bullish from here, to be honest. Just give another quick tap of that. Do we want to get those highs? I think we do. What's the 15? 15-minute volume imbalance closes above. We might run there right now. Same idea, right? Equal low, short-term low. We run out that short-term low. That might have been the entry. Yeah, 1050 could get us a nice little push up into there. There's the expansion, okay. So another expansion off the 5-minute, as we said. Just playing off that 5-minute. I do think buy side now at this point. But once we do, I almost want to turtle soup that high. Because all this in here, like, let's hide everything real quick. So ever since we created that low, equal lows, protected low, protected low, protected low, equal lows, we didn't run out that low. What's above here? First presented fair value gap. We might try to soup that too, actually. I'm just not convinced we're trying to actually run. I think we're just reaching for that liquidity. Once we hit that liquidity, we could see us reverse. We might give that one more try. Yeah. So at this point, we're kind of focusing on shorts. Oh, wait. That right there is actually kind of clean. Did we get that buy side? That might give us an opportunity to get into that buy side. What's this here? What could 5 handles get us? We can probably go ends model right into that, actually. Little small 5 handles. We may actually try that. 5 o'clock, yeah, close. Ooh, because the 5 minutes about to close above too. So we'll wait and see. 5 minute closure above, new week opening gap, or opening range gap, sorry. We'll try to get long into that using this. Quick scalp. This will be a little quicker scalp. Right, small loss. So we don't need much to make that back. Plus, we're just in a very sketchy area in price to where we could easily revert. But so far, price has been showing a willingness to want to hold. The 5 minute is about to close above. Okay, so I don't mind actually trying that one more. Let's try to get a little scalp. Just into that. %. Small risk. If we go right back through that, we'll be offsides, right? So if we close below that fair value gap, oh, just like that. Stop here for me means that we're probably just going to be done. As we said, it's a Friday. No need to be crazy. We'll wait and see. Maybe wait till 11, but 2 small stop outs will be fine. So immediately closure below, yeah, we'll get stopped. We're just going to revert back into this 5 minute here. So watch for that. Right, consolidation. As we said, we're just choppy in here. If we can get back above, that would be nice. We were simply trying to use a quick expansion, right? So for us, if we were going to run buy side, we wanted to see just a quick tap of that and a run. The fact we closed below that, to me already, probably offsides. And that's how I like my trading. Right? I like to be either wrong or right quickly. Our stop loss is below this low in case we want to give the 5 one more little love tap, right? Where we just perfectly hit that. That could be a possibility. We'll see. We're probably going to leave a bearish fair value gap here. So now, right, as we invert this, we'll give it 1 candle's chance. If this candle remains below, that's going to be a true inversion paired with a bearish fair value gap, which will be pretty hard to get above. And then at that point, we'll probably just get that retracement into the 5 here. We'll see, though, if we can't hold this as a new swing low, if we can't protect this as a low. Now we'll have to see pretty much, let's see. So we do end up closing inside the fair value gap. But we have this bearish. So what we need to see is this bearish be immediately traded through. If we do that and hold from it, I think we just hold and break lower. We'll see. It is a retracement, maybe. Oh, I can't lie. You seem to be looking for more validation. Or like to prove you're right for some reason. If that's, I don't know. Yeah, right, so that's kind of what we would expect to see from bearishness. As we said, we'll give it one more chance to tap the 5. We're very choppy in here. We're showing that a lot of sensitivity to that 5 minute high. So for us, our low is right below this low. Oh, right below this low right there. Right, because if we're going to be real crazy, that low should be protected, but I think we'll probably run through it. There's the high of the 5 minute. So from here, we'd want to see immediate rejection, kind of like we did here. Let's see if we can get immediate rejection and then retest this. That's our only way of this working out at all. Any lower, we get stopped. So it's trying to get lower. Okay. As we said, 5 minute is sensitive, so that's pretty cool. Now it's a matter of from this 5 minute into the 1 minute bearish. We might get stuck here and then revert. So that's why I'd want to see a quick push through this bearish now, especially because we've just hit that. Right, so yeah, we've just created an intermediate swing point. We've created a new swing low. So here I'd want to see this push right up and through. Not come back down. If we do come back down, as you say, we'll be stopped out. And it'll just be choppy. We might give it one more chance as we break through this low potentially. Once again, gonna cut risk just because we've already created the bearish. So when we create these opposing PD arrays in consolidations, I tend to cut risk quite a bit. Right, that's kind of one of my things is that I never want to take the full stop if I don't have to. Oh, and there we go anyway. That's fine. So quick run lower. Right at this point, just clear cut consolidation. So we get break even here, small stop out here, 0.25%. Not too big. Which, right, would still allow us to take 2 more trades if we want today. But for me, I don't think we will. At this point, if we want to run into buy side, I'm not going to try to catch that. If we do get below this, however, we will try one last short, and that'll be it. And if that doesn't work out, we'll call it a day. Right, because now if we're going to get above the 5 minute and get back below it, as we said, we may be leaving these highs, just engineering more buy side. And then we may want to get that during the lunch hour. So let's watch here closely. Let's see, I want these back up. This same fair value gap still is important to me. The original 1 minute as we cleared the buy side. Below that, I do think we can get short. So let's try, let's see. And this will be the final for the week. Need a closure below, however. So the 5 minute and the 1 minute. 1 minute's here, 5 minutes here. Closure below, leaving a new fair value gap means we'll try to use that. Most recent swing point. If that gets stopped, yeah, we're just chopping up. Right, we'll be chopped up and we'll be done. I want to see a run lower into the range. Okay, this will be it. I'm going to try to get the retracement here. We may miss that. That's the only issue. I want a deeper retracement into the actual bearish. We may hold the low of this 5, however. All right, so watch that on a 1 minute sense. We may hold from here and just immediately fall out of bed, especially because that's the inversion. I may have actually wanted to use that. Shoot, hold up. Stop here. Into the first presented. Might go low hanging fruit. I like the midpoint for sure, but we'll enter, especially let's see if we leave. If we leave a little fair value gap right here, we'll just use that low hanging fruit entry. Getting the retracement. All right, let's see if we can't get tapped in here. Nice, okay. Okay, so we're in anyways, that's fine. So we'll leave it there. So at this point, we want to break lower. If we get back above this 5 minute, we're just going to be stopped. Right, and we're just choppy in here. We'll probably come for the buy side, but I want to see a retracement into this range from low to high. I want to leave these equal highs behind as relative equal highs for later on in the day. So we'll see. Right, at this point, we would need to see price get back below the 5 minute. So we did get below it originally, which was good, but notice the very next candle gets inside of it. So what we would want to see is basically that hold us bearish. Right, because right now we're holding it as an inversion bullish. So we still have 2 minutes. We'll see what the next 2 minutes take. But if that 5 minute ends up holding and we get back above, right, we'll just be out. As we said, iron shorts mostly. We understand the buy sides here. I just want to leave those. I'd rather see consolidation rather than just continuation. If we get continuation, that's cool. Back above, so double back above now, yeah. Okay, so already, right, not looking the best. We've immediately inverted that. We were trying to use the bearish, instead we invert it with a new bullish. So we have to see the 5 minute high hold. If we close above the 5 minute, I would expect us to just run. Which at that point, no need to switch our entries back and forth. As we say, already choppy, so because we did invert that, if we do get break even, we will be able to close some, mitigate risk. If not, and we just run, we'll just take the full stop out, but we can allow that because the original stops out were short, small. So we do go back to break even, we'll go, we sold, we'll have to buy. Oh yes. So once again, right, that perfect reprice into the inversion and then holding the high. That more than likely means we're going to be able to expand quickly. What we'd want to see is us to reclaim that. Instead, we hold it. Now that we're coming into the low of it, once again, kind of like we said over here, we're going to watch and see, does that midpoint hold? Right, midpoint is what's going to be sensitive now. So midpoint might hold us and accelerate us. Right. If you're going to try to target longs, right, this would be the valid entry to get into the buy side. I just think I want to see us chop, almost go against the grain. The only issue is, right, so we look here, we don't trade trend lines, of course, but retail patterns, what is this? Right, that's whatever they call it, a break. So if retail's going to try to short this as we come up into here, we could rip that off and rip them right through their face. But retesting our entry, so we're going to buy back 2 there. So at this point, yeah, we could take the stop. This stop out means we'll take the third one. All less than the full original plan stop. Right? That's kind of how I like to keep it as well. 5 minute, we needed the 5 minute to hold, and we want this 5 minute candlestick to close. So now that we're hitting this low, this is where we'll reject. Because right on the 5 minute sense, 5 minute held consequent encroachment. If we're gonna test that again and hold the low, not a good sign. We need to leave that low, basically get below it and try to keep running. I would like this. We'll take one partial here because this is a little inefficiency if we can get down into it. We wouldn't want to see that. Yeah, I don't like that at all. If we're going to wick and hold, that's just not a good sign. Especially because NQ isn't able to get that low. We'll see what we do here. Bearish volume balance. So now my attention goes, if we can leave that open as we leave the 5 minute, that'll be a good sign for us. If we end up closing that in, I still think we might run back up and just keep chopping in here. Because then this candle will negate that candle's action. So we need to leave that open. If not, not looking too hot. Revisiting entry. Long again, NQ needs to go up. That would be nice, right? Yeah, just choppy. 50-50 here either way. Lower probability conditions. That's why we keep the risk light. As I said, I'd want to see this remain open, so this would need to close bearish. We end up, so we do close it in and we actually remain in the 5. So we'll see if we can't run lower from here, but don't like that too much. We have a new swing point, so if we can partial out, we'll go stop to the new swing here because we'll be clearing out some lows. As we said, just want to see a return back into the range low to high created so far. We'll actually go right here, partial at this low, a little over 5 handles. So it'll be an easy partial target. And then, yeah, I like first presented down here. We can even just go into the actual fair value gap itself. Let's see if we can't get partial. I like the closure below, beautiful. First partial there. As you said, this inefficiency has my attention because it's near equilibrium. If I went low to high. So like say we don't want to actually take out or return into equilibrium, we would hold at the last discount that's formed above that. That's here. That's why I'm looking at that. That's why we partial one there as well. Because now we can go stop here. This bearish fair value gap I would not want to see be retraded into if we're going to kind of hold bearish for the time being. So that's why stops underneath that. So now we'll just see if we can't hold that and keep running lower. NQ trading off its first presented. So NQ we would need to see price get below that, ideally. And then for ES, we'd want to close, right? We don't like wicking lows because that's more indicative of reversals. We'd want to see closure below. Yeah, so I don't like that, especially if we make this a swing low. I don't want to see this become a swing low, so I want this candle to run out this low. This becomes a swing low, could be a swing low while clearing liquidity, but then the retracement higher. So that's what I'm watching now, especially if, right, like if we see this candle, tap this liquidity and then reverse. Oh, just like that. Okay. So yeah, that to me, just not the best start. These are the things I'm looking for in price when I'm trying to decide what the order flow is going to do, where price is going to reach. So as we clear that liquidity, that becomes a key area. If we're going to retest that liquidity and fail to break it, we're going to engineer a swing low, which can be the turning point, which is what I would favor, especially because if we're going to follow that with, right, a discount in the form of the volume imbalance. So we're clearing liquidity, creating a swing low, and creating a new discount all at once. Okay. So yeah, I'd watch the retracement. This may be the low here. 5 minute did close below, so we can wait and see. Maybe 5 minute gives us some help as a reclaimed bearish fair value gap. Right, we get above it, we invert it, we get back below it. I want to see that hold, but we did trade into this 5 minute. So we want the deeper retracement, but this 5 minute is all maybe price had to reach for, which is, as we said, this will be the swing low that then turns on us and stops us out, especially if we get above this high. Yeah, it's aggressive. We would have to hold the 5 minute. Anything above the 5 minute, more than likely we get stopped. Ooh, not too good. What a trace. Now OTE would be down here. It would be this fair value gap, to be honest, probably. Let's see. Just by looking at it. Yeah. Which is what I wanted to see that, right? OTE would be the actual fair value gap that got created here. Take the lowest low to the high. So yeah, that becomes the flip point, kind of as we expected. Short-term low cleared. I'm on this debate and taking one more, but we've been able to partial out. Just don't want to get chopped up. Where we at on the day? Okay, so we're only down less than 0.5%. See if we can get back below that. Right, I'm looking how we just cleared this short-term high, so we went from short-term low to clearing a short-term high. So I want to see us break. That's what I'm waiting for here. Right, in consolidations, these intermediate swing points become pretty aggressively rejected. If that stays there, if this closes below the 5 minute, we're going to put our stop at this high. Because at that point, if we just keep going up and down, right, we're just chopping. Especially with this buy side run and the aggressive break lower. Like if we're going to do that and close below this bullish fair value gap, closing below the 5 minute again, I would want us to just run at that point, right, and not keep reverting up here. So yeah, we're fine. Stop there. So once again, we're able to cut risk, and now we'll just fully let the trade pan out. So we either run out this low. With how choppy it is, we might take one more partial just at this low here. It's another 7 handles. Because we could get, right, if we're going to keep chopping, we could run out this low and then retrace again back up into the highs. So if that's the case, we're just going to partial at a swing point. If we're real bullish, once again, right, we look at the liquidity. The original liquidity that gets wicked through, that is what holds us. The old purge and revert idea. Down 100 on the day. You like the short, took a long that chased. Hey, still up on the week though, brother. So retesting the liquidity, we need to get below that. Like we should probably partial at liquidity. We will partial at liquidity. I think we get this low, but as we said, no need to be greedy. And now we can leave the final. So cool. So now at this point, I don't even want us to get back into the 5 minute. I don't even want us to get here at all. I'm trying to be out. It's about to be 11 o'clock. So we'll break even or we are inside the fair value gap. Cool. Oh no. I'll be right back, fellas. I done fucked up. I done spilled my coffee everywhere. God damn it. On the carpet, bro. On the desk. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Big spill, big spill. Had to get the carpet cleaner so it don't stain. Ah. All right. We good, we good. What a shame though, all my coffee gone. Okay, all right, where we at? Where we at? Walk in, walk in. So once again, still heading off the 5 minute. 5 minute close below here. Cool. So 5 minute has reclaimed that. So yeah, I wouldn't want to see that high be traded into. Should hold the 5 minute and just trade lower. That's what we'd look for at this point. As we said, stop out here. We get stopped. It's 11 o'clock. So already out of my trading window. Was not on the computer. Good thing. I had it back towards me, so it fell on my lap. So it's just all over me, my chair, and the floor. Now I'm finna smell like coffee. Coffee shorts. We're getting choppy up in here. You said we're either gonna go break even or we'll be able to get stopped at our fair value gap right here. That's what we're looking at. As we said, that'll be a nice OTE from, you take lowest swing point, body, highest swing point, body. 70% lines up pretty nicely, these little white dotted lines here and here. So that'd be a good retracement. You still got this, oh, the sticky keys, that's the worst. Impossible to change unless you get a new keyboard. Or unless you like take them all off or something. Yeah, midnight's right here, so that's what we're holding, which is nice. I'm watching that. I'm at this bearish fair value gap. The low of it is perfectly the midnight open. That's kind of why I want to see us break from here. All right, respect that midnight and just trade lower. It's like true. It's the money maker. Can't mess up the computer. Holding the volume balance. So at this point, we're just getting smushed between PD arrays. The volume balance in the 5-minute paired with the opening range. Midnight levels here as well. Want to see that hold as we said. If not, probably stop out. Back into 5-minute. So now that we ran this high, we'd want to see basically us reject from that high, hold the body below the 5-minute, and then run lower. Nice. Okay, so pretty much just like that. Run the high, reject the high, but now we want to hold the 5-minute and break lower, not hold the volume balance. If we retest the wick, we'll probably just push up and through this 5-minute. Right now we've cleared liquidity. Did we hit consequent encroachment of that? Yep, so we've cleared liquidity, we hit consequent encroachment, and we're back below the 5-minute. So for me, right, that should be the swing point. We should create that as a swing high and then run to attack a swing low here. Yeah, we've already met our weekly objective for sure. I'd agree with that. Like I said, I wanted to see, right, this here was my weekly objective. So we already hit it. We get the retracement and now we're just playing around that equilibrium. Which is why we expect the choppiness. Okay, cool. So just as we said, right, that should be a swing high. This should be what a swing high forms. Consequent encroachment of the bearish fair value gap inside of the 5-minute. We would need to see price close below the volume balance, but it can't. So you notice we run out that candle's high, we immediately run out this low. So we're really just inside of this, creating ugly consolidation conditions. Right, picture this in like a 1 5-second chart. It's just constant seek and destroy. So we need to see if we can get below the volume imbalance, we should be able to run lower, but for the time being, yeah, we're just stuck here. 11:07, so we'll wait till 11:10. If anything, I might close early. I just don't like being in trades too long, especially with it being Friday, trying to be done. Yeah, and especially that's hideous. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go here. We have equal lows here paired at this fair value gap, right? The original fair value gap, we're gonna partial. Notice how we create equal lows right there. And with how choppy we're being in here, we could easily run that out and revert. So we'll just try to get out there if we don't get stopped. Right, the fact that we held this, came back for highs, just hideous. So we would need to run that high again, reject and run out the lows. But I think we might want to go up first. So we'll probably get stopped and then, oh yep, so there's stop out. Okay. Let's see what happens now. I'm just curious if we reverse. If not, if we run right and through that, we call that a day. This would be now when we reject, of course. We get hit, break even. Usually, I'd say I take 4 is like the max. It looks like a lot more because I'm running down equity as we're already in, right? So in reality, I only took 1, 2. What was the third short? 1 short here, 1 long here. So right, 3 actual trades. It's just that once we're in the trade, so I went short here, right? Once we're in this trade, we're cutting risk at break even, cutting risk at break even again, and then getting stopped. I try to go long here, we get the full stop, and then we go short here, right? This is just cutting equity and then partialing out. So it's not like they're each their individual trade, it's just more so the management of the trades once I'm inside of them. We held that, so maybe we would come back down now. But yeah, we're content with that. We're just gonna let it be. We're overpriced this morning. Friday, we're gonna go enjoy the weekend. So we'll do a quick little recap. Right, off rip, we were trying to get entered here. So we were trying to use the first presented to go long into buy side. Once we create this fair value gap, we actually never get the retracement. We keep pushing higher. Once I see this, I was trying to turtle soup the high inside of this fair value gap. That's where this entry comes. So we're turtle souping as we run buy side. We noticed that once we run that buy side though, we broke the high with this bullish fair value gap. So to us, that's going to create some type of bullishness, right? That ends up holding us, which is why we're partialing inside of that. Accidental entry here, trying to run it off or close another one. We accidentally sold, but instead as price trades lower, we're able to actually close that instead. So slight profit. And then we get the full stop out here. We still were aiming for that buy side. So now, right, as we traded into the 5-minute, displaced above with the fair value gap, we tried to use that to just target this quick scalp. Instead, immediately goes against us, which is fine because it closed back underneath the 5-minute, leaving the bearish fair value gap. And then that's where we actually had the last entry for the short. So then we get short there. Still choppy in here, right? But we're short. We managed to get short, partial out, and then we get stopped here at break even. And then we actually run back down to where those equal lows are at. That's funny. So yeah, just chopping in here, to be expected, right after a large expansion. So overall, not the best day, right? Green on the week, good week. Still pretty, I'm fine with these executions in a choppy market. Probably here was the only one, right, kind of chasing, but everything else I'm fine with. And now, yeah, we'll probably run that out. This is okay. Yeah, we get stopped at the high and then we break right into the exit or the exit point. Still don't mind this actually first presented potentially, but we'll let that run without us. So if you guys are going to be around here the rest of the day, I'd look for, yeah, maybe shorts into the first presented here. But for us, we good. Going into next week, really not much expectation, right? We're really just consolidating here. Choppy. As we said, we've already delivered into my kind of daily objective up here. So after hitting this daily high, we could see a few days of chop. As far as macro sense, I still would like to see higher prices, like up here. But we'll just have to wait and see what we get in the coming weeks. Cool. So yeah, we'll leave you guys with that. Hope you guys enjoyed the week. Appreciate y'all hanging out this week. And we'll be back on, let me double check real quick. I think we have high impact news Monday. Let me just check. Monday, yeah. So we have high impact news Monday at 10 Eastern. So we'll start next week, kind of like we did today, 9:50 Eastern, just before that high impact news. And we'll see what we can get for the week. So until then, have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, and we will talk Monday morning. See you guys.